Hi, I'm Clay Ballard, and this is the weight shift fault and fix section. Now in this section, we're going to go over some big myths out there about weight shift, and I'm also going to show you how to perform your weight shift perfectly, both in the backswing and the downswing. Now let me ask you if you've heard this suggestion before. In your downswing, have you been told to start your downswing by really bumping your weight to the left, bumping your hips to the left? Well, I'm going to show you how this can lead to a lot of hip pain and possible hip injury if you go too far. So if your left hip is sore after you're playing golf, you're going to want to watch this. Have you also been told to stay stacked or to have the thought of being stacked in the backswing? Now if you have, I'm going to show you how this can often lead to your hips swaying to the right and then also lead to chunk shots. So if you've been hitting some chunk shots, you're going to want to watch that. Now lastly, this has been kind of all the rage here the last few years about staying left in the backswing, keeping our weight stacked on our left side, keeping all our weight on our left. Well, I'm going to show you how this can lead to actually keeping your weight left in the backswing can lead to staying on the right in the downswing, and that can lead to chunk shots, thin shots, and a heck of a lot of loss of distance. So if you want to learn all these moves and more, watch this section. Now, this weight shift fault and fix section is broken down into 3 pieces. This is the introduction video. The next video is the overview video. We're going to go over the 3 common faults that I just mentioned. I'm also going to show you how to analyze your swing on camera so you can put it on a computer and be your own coach. I'm going to guide you through that so you can know exactly how you're supposed to be performing these moves and what it's supposed to look like. And then in the 3rd section, we're going to have individual videos that go over each of these problems with all the detail and instruction that you could ever need. So let's go ahead and get started with the overview. All right, so this is the fault and fix overview for weight shift. Now in this video, we're going to go over 2 things. I'm first going to show you the 3 most common faults I see with weight shift, why those are bad for your game, and get you started with how to fix those. And then in the second half of this video, I'm going to show you how you can analyze your own swing so you can know exactly which pieces you need to work on and how to fix them. Then in the 3rd section, which will be the next set of videos, we're going to go over in great depth each individual move and give you some great instruction on how to fix each individual piece. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, as I mentioned last time, one of the myths out there that really gives people a lot of problems is that they're told to start their downswing by really bumping their hips to the left. Now, we do want to transfer our weight to the left, but the last thing you want to do is bump your hip past neutral joint alignment. And this is what I see a lot of times. Neutral joint alignment means that your left ankle and your left hip are stacked on top of each other. That's how, if we're standing in natural anatomical alignment, my left hip socket and my ankle would basically be stacked right on top of each other. That's if we took away all our muscles and there was just our bones hanging here. That's the way your hip can work very efficiently and effectively without being injured. So if my hip is in neutral joint alignment, I can rotate freely, and this is going to put no wear and tear on this hip socket at all. If I try to bump my hips to the left, and now all of a sudden my left hip socket gets outside of my left ankle joint, now I'm putting a lot of pressure. You can feel this. I want you to stand up, bump your hip way to the left, and you're going to start feeling some pressure in the outside of this hip, and this hip socket is grinding into the outside of the hip girdle, and it can cause a lot of injury. So we don't want to shift that far forward, and we'll get to that, how much is the proper amount, later on in the weight shift part 3 when we talk about shifting to the left. Now the second thing I want to talk about is being stacked, and we hear this a lot. We want to be stacked in the backswing. Now sometimes people overdo this and they talk about being stacked and they think about their spine being perfectly up and down in the backswing. And as you start to rotate and you try to stay centered as you're stacked, your hip is going to have a tendency to shift to the right because these muscles are going to be tightening, and I'm going to have a tendency to shift my weight to the right. Now all of a sudden this right hip line or this right hip is shifting to the right, and then as my downswing, my body knows, okay, I can't hit a ball from this position. I'm going to have to go this way, and we start to drop that right shoulder, and you're going to start chunking that ball into the ground. We're going to go in that in the weight shift part 2 right hip line video, and we're going to talk about how you can rotate back and stay on this right hip line the whole way, get loaded into your right side, and not have to drop to the right on your downswing to try to get in a better position. So we're going to go over that in the weight shift part 2 video. Now the last one, and probably my least favorite of all 3, is staying stacked and keeping all your weight on your left side. Now, this was all the rage for a while. You've seen people get away from this because they realize the limitations with it. But if you keep all your weight on your left side, you're gonna get way too steep if you keep it here on the downswing. All right, so if my weight stays here and I just come straight down into the ball, I'm gonna be very steep and I'm gonna hit on a very descending blow. Now your body, again, your body subconsciously is pretty smart. It knows this isn't gonna work and it starts to make compensations for that. So if I stay stacked on my left during the backswing, my natural tendency to try to get out of this poor position is gonna be to drop to the right on the downswing. Again, it's gonna get me on my right side. So staying left actually gets me on my right side on the downswing. I'm gonna drop my right shoulder. I'm gonna end up chunking that golf ball or hitting well behind the golf ball. So those are the three big myths that I see. Now let's go ahead and get started. If you're serious about improving your golf game, you're gonna wanna videotape your swing. That's the only way to know how to improve. You need to be able to look at your swing, analyze your swing, and then pick the corresponding videos that are gonna help you out to improve. So next we're gonna go over how you can analyze your swing, check it on camera, and start getting the perfect weight shift starting right now today.
All right, so the first thing let's talk about is the right hip line. And you just draw a line going down your right leg at address before you make your takeaway. And we're gonna see how your weight transfers in relationship to this right line, this line and your right leg. So as I go to the top on the picture on the left, this is representing a good weight shift, and you'll see that my right leg is not breaking through this right hip line. It stays right on this line, and that means that I'm shifting my weight a little bit to the right. Since the hips are rotating, then I would be moving off this line or toward the target with my hips a little bit this way if I wasn't shifting to the right. So two things are going on there. I'm actually shifting my weight to the right. My weight's on the inside of my right foot, and my hips are rotating, so it stays perfectly on this line. Now, if I do this incorrectly, let's watch the screen on the right, you'll see that I'm breaking through this line. And that's going to lead to a lot of inconsistency, because now you can see my spine angle is tilting all over the place. So let's go ahead and watch again from the beginning the correct way. And we'll mark my spine angle here at address as we go to the top. You can see my spine angle roughly stays the same. If I go back to address the incorrect way, mark my spine angle, and as I swing to the top, now my spine angle is shifting all over the place. Since the spine angle is one of your main your main axis in the swing, if it starts shifting all over the place, we're going to have a lot of inconsistency. So this is one of the first things to check. Even if your right hip line is only moving a couple inches, or your right leg is only moving a couple inches, like you'll see right here, to the outside of this line, that still poses a pretty big issue in the swing. So that's the first thing I want you to check. This is really, really common, the hips shifting to the right too far and breaking that right hip line, and it can cause a ton of inconsistency. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is the hips shifting the...
If you're watching this video on YouTube, take this opportunity to watch this full video for free. This is usually only available to premium members. Now, when you click this link in the bottom right-hand side of your screen, you're going to be able to watch this full video from start to finish, free of charge. Plus, you're going to get about 3 hours of premium instruction, absolutely no cost. We know that you're going to love this information so much, and you're going to improve so much that you're going to want to sign up for a premium membership. Now, with your premium membership, you get about 2 reviews a month, or you actually get exactly 2 reviews a month, and our certified instructors are going to pinpoint the areas that can improve your game the most, and that is included with your premium membership. And the greatest thing of all, you get the premium videos, you get your 2 reviews per month, you get to ask all the questions you want to, and it only costs about the same price as 1 sleeve of golf balls per month. So I look forward to seeing you much more in the future, and good luck with your golf game.
Now it's time to take action. Don't let another year pass and still be frustrated with your golf game. This is your year to beat all of your friends. Go to the description below and click the link to sign up for your free membership. It will never cost you a dime, and you'll receive over 2.5 hours of detailed, eye-opening video lessons. Plus, you will be able to see the remainder of this video, only available if you click the link on this particular video. Be the first of your friends to join our 40,000 plus free members. We look forward to having you on our team.